I like those shorts. Those are neat.
Sorry, I wasn't quite ready for them to stop playing. Here we go. Good morning, everyone. My name is Stevie Lang, and I'm so grateful that you are here at Unity Center of Des Moines today. It's a very special day. You'll see the format is a little different than what you're used to, and that's because it's potluck day. So there's a huge spread of food in the community room to help yourself to afterwards if you're so inclined. And then we're going to have a little brainstorming community conversation about what we want to have created here. I oftentimes talk about this being a co-created community.
Yeah, you're not on.
I'm not on. I'm running double duty with sound today. And so I'll fix it in a moment. Or thank you, Marilee, for running up there. Is the blue light on the antenna? Marilee, is the blue light on the antenna thing? But I don't know. I'm on the red.
You, Melissa, after you were up there.
No, it's on. It's red. Anyway. Hi, everybody. One of the things that we have an immediate need for is help with sound. So if you're watching me kind of squirm right now and are like, you know what, I'm willing to help out with that, I will teach you what you need to know and we'll get it figured out. But regardless, maybe you're joining us online for the first time, or maybe you're here in person for the first time. If you're here in person, we do have little welcome packets that you're free to grab out in the entryway. There are also sheets of paper that if you would like to be included on our email list, or after the experience today, you have some thoughts or feedback, there's a sheet of paper that you can fill that out, and that box right under that beautiful painting is our prayer box. So if you also have prayer requests, you can put them in there. Just know we want to hear from you. We want to create an environment that people can use to explore their own unique spiritual journey. We are a place that recognizes that we are all sovereigns of our own spiritual journey, and we support a positive spiritual path. So let's begin with song. 1 moment.
will work with each other. We will work side by side. We will work with each other. We will work side by side. And we'll grow and each other's chemistry and save each other's lives. And no more will we by your love, by your love. Yes, no more will oh.
you. So just like spirit, we have to tune in to get what we need. When you want something to work, you have to turn it on. So there is a power button that I forgot to push when I was up there. Anyway, so welcome everybody. Announcements for today. I mentioned the potluck, the Spirit Seekers Fair registration is now open on the website under the space rental and fair tab, or the box there that has a picture of the building. There is a link to the Google form. It's also in our newsletter. And then on the back table, there is a paper copy. So if you offer some kind of healing modality, any kind of card reading, or you've been a vendor before, the registration is now open. And the date that we have set is September 20th. We have an urgent need for some helpers around here in the children's area, in the sound, and also we could use more readers as well, just to help cover each other. And if there's any of that you want to help with, you can text the Unity cell or call and leave a message, and that's 515-903-3033. And there's also a link to sign up to be a helper in the children's area at a couple places on the website. So under the children's section and also on the newsletter. So many hands make light work is what my mama used to say. And if we all just pitch in and doing what we can get it all done. Special events coming up next Sunday, July 20th at 4 p.m. is an event called Soulful Sunday. Steffi Foley, who is an experienced yoga instructor, is offering an event with Deb Jennings in sound, and it's going to include breath work, restorative yoga. It's a very healing experience to just bring you into your body and release some of that stuff that can block you from connection. You can read more about it in the newsletter or on the website. So, and our usual events are on the website. That's unitydesmoines.com. You can also get access to the Unity worldwide information, all that. So check out our website if you haven't been there, unitydesmoines.com. All right, let's read our statement of faith. It'll be up on the screen. We can say it all together. There is only one power active in my life and in the universe, the divine source of all life and love. Next, the unity affirmation. And as we say this together, if we can really feel the oneness that connects us all. Unity of Des Moines is a radiating center of the divine light, mighty to attract its good and radiate good to others. And with the spirit of oneness, I invite you to uncross your hands and legs and just sink into your chair. Tune into your heart and the divine within you and your ability to send love, light, and healing to the following people. Pam, Elena, Scott, Deb, Kim, Misha, Amy, Amanda, Ryan, Dylan, Christina, Paul, Kim, Lou, Jotsana, Amy, Tom, Aiden.
Scott, Celine, Janine, Lindsay, Denise, Karen, Katie, Ron, Jenny, Marty, Matt, Brittany, Jerry, Jessica, Alexander, Michelle, Marilee, Eric, Jeannie, Angie, Devin, Joey, Jeanette Marie, Paul and Phyllis, Christina, Sia, and people with struggles we know nothing about. The reading for today is taken from Joshua chapter 1, verse 9, which says, I hereby command you, be strong and courageous. Do not be frightened or dismayed, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. Worrisome and challenging events may leave me thinking, I don't have the courage to face them. What I'm going through may feel like too much to bear. Then I remind myself, I am a divine being. I have the courage I need. How I view myself has a strong bearing on how I handle moments of stress. If I tell myself I'm weak and unable to cope, that will probably be my experience. But if I affirm the divine is within, my power to rise above any worldly situation, I will feel courageous, empowered, and strong. Stressful moments may leave me feeling alone and afraid. When the presence and power of God is within me, I realize I am never alone and need not fear. This is the source of my courage. So the affirmation that goes along with this, God within me is the source of my courage. God within me is the source of my courage. All right, and with that in mind, we've got another song. We absolutely love it when you sing along, and the lyrics are going to be up on the screen. You are anything less than beautiful. I would anyone else tell you you were less than all. You would anyone fails to notice that your loving is a miracle. I'll take you connected to my soul. Like anyone else tell you. Less than beautiful.
Thank you.
Okay. Did I mention we need help with sound? Okay, it's really not that hard, but you do need to have someone sit in some practice. So without further ado, I would like to please
give a round of applause to our speaker today, Melissa Harris, talking about jewels in the web of life. Please welcome Melissa Harris.
Good morning. Can everybody hear me okay?
Yes,
All right.
morning.
I'll try to keep my mouth by this mic so you can hear me. I've been gone a couple of months and I've missed being here. It's good to be back. I'm going to share an idea that came from a book by Mark Nepo. It's called Falling Down, Getting Up. I don't know if anybody's read it. It's a book of about 60 essays. They're maybe 2 or 3 pages long, different themes, different ideas about living and spirituality and our existence and humanity. And with each one, it gives like a little prompt or a way to walk with this idea. And the one I'm going to share today is titled Staying Clear and Authentic. In Hindu mythology, the god of connection, Indra, has woven a mystical net around all of existence. At each point where a knot would appear in the net, in the mesh of the net, there's a jewel. If you look closely into the face of every jewel, you can see the reflection of all the other jewels in the entire net. For centuries, Indra's net has served as a metaphor for how the living universe can be seen in the soul of every human being and how we are intrinsically connected. Each soul is a luminous jewel in the net of existence, in which we can all see all the other souls and the entire web of life when we are clear and authentic. I love how visual this is. Just seeing us all being these reflections in this web. We go out to a lake in Nebraska every so often. There's a place my in-laws used to live. And when we go out there, like sit on the dock and look at the sky and the water and the trees and just kind of see the connections between things. And my favorite days are the days when there's just enough wind. So if you know Nebraska, there's usually a lot of wind, but there's some days when there's just enough wind that it's disturbing the top of the water. And it looks like it's reflecting, it's sparkling, it's like little lights are popping up all over the place. You've probably seen this on water before. It's when I see that, sometimes I think to myself that these are people that I've lost that are showing themselves to me. Like there are these bright lights that are showing up for me. So much of nature, when I see it, I think of it as communication, as a way, to show us something, the wind and the trees and the ground and the water, all telling us something. And so when I see that sparkling water, a lot of times I'm entranced by it. And I like to imagine that it's people showing themselves to me so that I can have some comfort that they're not gone from me. And when I read this idea from Mark Nepo, it made me think of that sparkling water. And it occurred to me that, it's not just people that are gone from us, it's all of us. We are the sparkling water. We are the jewels in the web. Nepo also says, if we're not reflecting the universe, we're stuck in a knot. He says, when we're not clear and authentic, the jewel turns back into a knot. And so as a knot, we're still holding everything together. We're still connected, but we can't see or reflect very much when we're in a knot. We're kind of tied up in our troubles, and we go in and out of being aware of our inherent tie to everything. He says, when feeling disconnected, we drift into believing that nothing relates to anything else. And that makes me think, if we drift into believing that nothing relates to anything else, what then happens to our relationship with other people? We start to believe that we're not connected to other people. We feel untied. We feel our lives and our relationships and our actions and our beliefs are unrelated. Nepo goes on to say that there are 3 internal processes that are essential to the life of the soul, which can restore our luminous place in the web. They can restore our reflectiveness. And these are presence, meaning, and connection. He says presence, meaning, and connection work within us to return us to the radiance in all things, to return us to that reflective web, to return us to the moment where we can see that everything touches everything else. So there's a lot of definitions and ideas about presence, but Nebo says that it is the means by which we inhabit our direct experience of life. Through this lens, we make more sacred choices that help us find our way and place in the unity of things. And we do all kinds of spiritual practices to find presence and to maintain presence. We meditate and we do body movement and breath work, and we do gong ceremonies and sound work and hugging practices to help us find and maintain our presence. But he also says something else about presence, and this struck me. He says, but if all we have is our own experience, we can quickly become hardened by what is familiar and stop growing. Limited to our own experience, we can become stubborn and inflexible. Meaning, that second process, meaning is how we gain access to the experience of others. Meaning is the conduit by which presence is informed by other presence. So we're the jewel, we're presence as ourself in the jewel, and those threads in the web are the meaning. And connection is the process of relationship and flow that allows presence and meaning to inform each other and to sustain each other. So these three together make us the jewel. In order to be immersed in this reflective existence, in this web, holy and sacred, we have to pay attention. That's presence. We have to honor it all. We have to see it all. We have to see more than just what's within us. We see these connections in this meaning. Our presence and our meaning are right here in the connection, in the threads of the web with each other. Nebo challenges us to explore our current state of relationship with presence, meaning, and connection. He says, unless we see, our eyes go dark. Unless we feel, the heart goes numb. And unless we breathe, the lungs aren't working. So I read this book with a study group, and there was a lot to it. It's one of those books you don't necessarily read cover to cover. You pick up and see what calls to you. And so each of us chose our own prompts from this. So I accepted this one to explore the current state of relationship with presence, meaning, and connection. And I had a bit of an epiphany with a relationship in my life. My father-in-law is dying. He's actively dying right now. Like it may be a matter of weeks, it could be a couple of days. And this has been a really long process. He's in hospice for the 4th time. So he's been on, rallied and graduated off, been back on. This has been over a number of years. And during that time, there's been a lot of search for meaning. Throughout this experience, I've been questioning a lot. And this teaching and looking at this really helped me recognize the error of my search. I kept asking, why is he stuck? Why can't he let go? What's happening within him? I was trying to make meaning off of what he was doing, what his experience was, nothing about the connection. He and I had a challenging relationship. We butted heads, we rarely agreed, and we hurt each other. I've known him since I was 19 years old, and that was the crux of our relationship for many, many years. About 12 years ago, he had a series of strokes that physically debilitated him. And they also changed his mind, and I mean physiologically. The damage to his brain changed his personality. He's different in the way he behaves, the way he talks with other people, the way he interacts with people. And I've often thought of this time in these years since those strokes and him as this time full of grace. I don't know how else to explain it, but even in that grace, I have carried the hardship of that relationship from all of those years. The way that it was for over a decade now. I've stayed tied up in the knot in the way that it was, the way that it used to be. Even though we're loving towards each other, we communicate with kindness, we enjoy our time together, that knot was ever present. Lately, though, it's started to unravel. As I'm witnessing him dying, it's starting to pull apart a little bit. And I want to be clear here, I'm not talking about his knot, I'm talking about my knot. This knot is starting to unravel for me. And with this loosening of the knot, not only am I able to see a new reflection of Bill, there's a new reflection of the entire web that's starting to show up. This web of existence looks different. At the same time that I'm having this subdued feeling of anticipating death and loss, there's also an opening. Because if you loosen one thread of it, you can't help but loosen the others. So things are becoming brighter around me, things that even seemingly unrelated to my relationship with him. I've noticed that I see things more clearly. I breathe more easily. My creativity, which is my spiritual expression and my spiritual practice, has amplified. Almost to the point that I can't keep up with it. Like all these ideas and images and awarenesses are coming to me in multitudes. They are reflecting to me in a way they never have before. And I know it's because this knot is unraveling. Reflections I haven't seen before are appearing. And I'm aware now that the way that I was tied up in that knot of the way that relationship used to be, my eyes had gone dark. My heart had become numb, and the lungs hadn't been working. Have you ever felt yourself in a knot? See a lot of knots. My father-in-law example is a pretty clear and obvious one, but I think it can be sneaky too. So consider this. If we're a reflection of the universe, we don't just reflect those things that we share and agree upon. We reflect our differences too. I think it's easy sometimes to connect with people and share and relate to those that our beliefs are aligned with. But isn't that also kind of tying ourselves in a knot? Like maybe we think it's wrapping it in a bow. It's prettier. I know I do that. It feels better that way. But even if it's a pretty colorful bow, ribbon, it's still tied up and we can't reflect. And it might be easy to think, well, yeah, I don't want to reflect everything in this world. There are things I want to block off and not reflect. But when we close off to something and we become that knot, then we can't see and we can't reflect. I don't know if this part's going to make any sense or not. I was out for a walk yesterday, and the path I was on, there are a ton of bicycles riding along. And as they were passing me, I noticed the little plastic reflectors, you know, the white or red on the front or back or on the tires. And I was thinking about this idea, and I was like, oh, you know, sometimes when we're clear and authentic, we're this jewel where we have all these facets and we reflect this beauty all over the place. But sometimes we think we're reflecting, but we're actually like this little plastic cheap reflector that's only reflecting this thing out. And if something else is reflecting, be like, maybe we want to stomp on it and break it and not have that reflection. But I don't think we get to be half jewel and half light reflector. I think if we're willing to be clear and authentic, we become the jewel and we don't pick and choose. So remember how Nebo said, we can see all the other souls in the entire world when we're clear and authentic. This awareness has been coming to me for several years now, but it gets clearer and clearer that the closer I come to truth, the less I know. I don't know if anybody else has had this experience, but it's like when I'm clear and authentic, I can see better. And what I see is that there's so much more that I don't know than what I do. The more certain I am, the more I'm positive I'm right about something, the more of a knot I've tied myself in. I'm actually at my best when I'm a little unsure, when I'm not certain I've got it all figured out, when I'm in this place of seeking, of questioning this mystery, this thing that we can't really understand, when I'm looking and seeing. It occurs to me, there's this capital T truth that we can glimpse. We can start to understand. But as soon as we think we've captured it, we've tied it in a knot. If we tie our truth up in a knot of certitude, we don't see and reflect the entirety of existence. We can't. And then we can't live as a jewel reflected in this existence. Nebo says, we don't reconcile difference. We let it be our teacher. Which means we have to look at it. We have to see it. We have to acknowledge it. So I had this experience a month or so ago. I was having lunch with two friends. So I know these friends separately. I met one of them probably almost 10 years ago, and the other one I just met within the last few months. And at some point we made the connection that, they're friends too, like that we all know each other. So we decided to go have lunch. And so I witnessed this conversation, and I witnessed it because I wasn't really participating in it. It was a topic I'm not very familiar with, and I didn't have an opinion one way or another, but they did. And you know how there's arguing that isn't really arguing. It's more like there's not a lot of anger, but there's really no connection either. There's this talk back and forth, but there's not a connection happening in the talking. I watched this dialogue evolve, and I noticed something. The first thing I noticed was really obvious to me was that they both wanted the same thing. They wanted a very similar, if not exactly the same outcome. They were just coming at it from two different perspectives, from two different approaches. Both seemed pretty valid to me, and certainly they weren't dichotomous or contentious approaches. But as the conversation went on, I noticed things started to shift. Friend A was so sure she was right. She wasn't listening anymore. Her approach had changed from just ideas and discussion to kind of this righteousness. I could metaphorically see her pedestal growing taller and taller as she talked. And I watched friend B disengage. Even though she made valid points, some that seemed to me to be really necessary, and even though this was something that was really important to her, she was leaving the conversation. There was no reflection happening at that table or on any other level, in the discussion or in any other way. Friend A knew the truth and was certain that she couldn't let any other points in, any reflection in. And what I was actually seeing beyond the specific topic, and I'm sure you already recognize this, is this difference in fundamental beliefs or approaches to life. Friend A needed her truth to be the truth. She tied herself up into the knot of truth. And friend A had given up trying to share hers. She closed off as well and stopped. She's tied up to be maybe safe, maybe secure, maybe just disengaged. But they both lost. And I'm not telling the story from a place of judgment. I've been in this story, and I can look back and feel myself in this story at certain times. Sometimes you can feel it when you're in it too. Nebo calls connection the unformed energy of relationship. Unformed. So it's, sometimes I think we think of connections as these specific formations of connection that hold us together. He says they're unformed energy of relationship, fluid and lasting. So they're lasting. So we know that a connection is never severed, but it's not static. We have to keep it movable. We have to keep the threads of the light pliable so that if you pluck them, that they'll vibrate. This is the only way we have reflection. It's the only way we're the jewels. So I'll leave you with this. Over the next week or a few weeks or a month or when the opportunity arises, Pay attention to your relationships. Pay attention to your conversations, your interactions. How often are you clear and authentic? How often are you the jewel, seeing and reflecting? And how often are you the not? Let's share a meditation. Sit back in your seat so your body feels well balanced and at ease. Close your eyes if you'd like, or find a soft gaze point. And take a slow, deep breath in. And let it fill you up. And really sit, creating space for clarity. And another deep breath in, letting it expand your lungs, expand yourself. And exhale, blowing that breath out along the threads of the web. And one more deep breath in together. And exhale. And however it feels comfortable for you, continue breathing slowly, easily. Picture yourself as a jewel, shining, reflecting. Part of this web of all the other jewels that are around you, sitting beside you. All of us reflecting each other, our similarities and our differences, and reflecting the entirety of all things. Together, unraveling the knots that we hold in the place of truth. Allowing the wind to blow on the water, creating sparkles. Bouncing light and energy. Picture the web, your life, our life together, shimmering with those reflections. See that web connecting each of us in this room. See it spreading over our world. And expanding throughout the entire universe. Jewels flashing, white lights, golden lights, lights of all different colors. You can catch them out the corner of your eye, or they're right beside you, or within you, or far from you, as far as you can see, touching this life and beyond. Let's breathe together, holding that image for a moment. And gently return your attention to the sound of my voice. And drawing one last intentional breath together. And as you exhale, remember that connection, carry that with you. Seeing you then. And when you feel ready, open your eyes. Have a beautiful Sunday, everybody.
Thank you.
Hello, everybody. Thank you so much, Melissa, for that beautiful message and meditation. If you would like to share your resources with Unity of Des Moines, now is your opportunity to do so. We're so grateful that every one of you is here and present today. And whether your contributions are of a financial, energetic, or physical level, we want to offer the following affirmation.
I am infinitely abundant. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I thankfully acknowledge the divine source. Thank you.
Yay!
We like blue skies.
Oh, we have some blue skies today. They're a little hazy, but they're here.
They're here.
Calling them in.
Calling them in, yes. We're gonna just, we got people really spread out today, so it takes a little longer to make it come all the way around. And maybe if you're joining online and you're like me and don't carry cash, we also accept digital donations via Zelle or Venmo. You can scan QR codes that are either here or around the building, and Zelle actually lets you set up a recurring donation too. So if you have questions about that, I can help you out. But we'd like to dedicate this offering to do the work of spirit and truth to the people of Unity Center of Des Moines. And we are grateful. Oh, yes. All right. Well, now it is time for you to consider how you would like to experience the song, The Face of Love today. This is something that I found a lot of healing in since I first learned it. You may choose to just commune with yourself and your higher self and remind yourself that you are the face of love. You might find it engaging to partner up with either someone you know, or maybe someone you don't know really well, and sing it to each other. However it is, there's no wrong way to do it. Let's sing together. You are the face of love.
That's it's the community.
Oh, my goodness. Thank you, everyone. And now I'd like to invite Deb to the mic and she'll guide us through the hand motions and words to the universal greeting of peace from the Gandhi Foundation. So I'd like to invite everyone to stand up and watch Deb and follow along.
Just repeat back to me. I offer you peace.
I offer you peace.
I offer you love.
I offer you love.
I offer you friendship.
I offer you friendship.
I see your beauty.
I see your beauty.
I hear your needs.
I hear your needs.
I feel your feelings.
I feel your feelings.
My wisdom flows from the higher source.
My wisdom flows from higher Lord,
And I salute that source in you.
and I salute that source in you.
Let us work together for unity and love.
Let us work together with unity and love.
All right. Oh, I am smelling some good smells coming from the other room. And let's all make a great big circle around the room. Oh, what, did I miss something? Oh, sorry. I haven't heard something. Yes, let's make a big circle around the room. We usually join hands, and if you don't want to join hands, that's okay. You can just put your hands over your heart and you will sing the closing song. The light of the divine surrounds us. The love of the divine enfolds us. The power of the divine protects us. The presence of the divine watches over us. Wherever we are, the divine is, and all is well. Thank you, everybody. All right, we are going to have some food. And we still have hugs, and I don't know if anyone's doing a healing yet, but I recommend for flow that you start with the muffins and the grapes and the plates, and then you can walk your way around, and I think we can all have an in and out back into here to the tables and enjoy meeting for our discussion, getting to know each other. So enjoy. Thank you, everyone. Hope to see you next week. Bye.
Clean